All right, everyone, we are live. This is Frederick L. Jones, the founder and publisher of Saturday AM, and this is our pub talk for October 2018. This is a series that we do on YouTube where we have a chance to talk to our fans directly, answering questions and talking about the kind of the state of the industry, certainly as how it relates to Saturday AM. So I am very, very excited about today's pub talk because we are getting into a lot of things happening right now in the world of comic books and geek culture, and of course anime, manga, and of course Saturday AM, the world's most diverse shonen manga anthology. If you don't know what that means, it means that, of course, if you're into things like Naruto or Dragon Ball and One Piece, this is your home for that type of content, but presented with a bit more diverse flair. We have creators from Nigeria to Nicaragua, from Australia to Hungary, from the United States to China, and just about every country you can imagine in between there. We're very excited to be about to approach our 5th anniversary, our 100th issue of our manga anthology, and so we're super excited about all the things we have coming down the pike. Now, we are a few minutes behind schedule. As always, trying to coordinate all these things. You've got a big international group of creators is really hard. Not to mention, of course, the fact that technology is kind of tough. So we don't always have the most sophisticated technology. We are a small company. I want to ask a few things as we get started here. Number one, obviously, your patience as we try to get Andrea Voros, who's one of our owners in the company. She's also the creator of our hit series Saigami. And we're trying to get her in on the chat, and we want you guys to be able to have a chance to talk to her because Andrea is literally one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet in comic books of any level. But she's been having some issues connecting, so we're trying to get that squared away. Likewise, with your patience, I also like to ask that if you cannot hear me or if there's some issues with my audio, please let me know. I had rebooted my system, made sure I cleared everything out so that we could begin this process, but then we're having some connection issues with Andrea, and it made me wonder if it's something on my end. So please let me know if there are any issues regarding hearing me. As usual, you should be able to chat via the YouTube channel. YouTube, of course, should be up, so you should be able to chat there. I'm actually going to be pulling up the YouTube videos as well, so that I can keep track of the stuff that we're doing. So give me a second. I'm going to pull this in here. So just give me 1 second as I make the video live on my end. There we go. Hope everyone's doing well. This is a really exciting time right now because, we've got so much stuff happening. If you're a fan of geek culture, New York Comic-Con is happening right now. We're going to be talking about that. We've also got some other things to do. So just so many things that we want to get into today. As always, you guys are free to ask questions. So we do have some questions that will be available that people have asked on our Instagram. Likewise, we've done so on Twitter. But we do have questions that we'll be getting to a little bit later. So give me a second here. Let me see if Miss Andrea Voros is able to join us. And if not, we will continue on, but obviously we'll find a way to get you guys to be able to chat with Andrea again in the future, because she is literally one of the sweetest people that I've ever met, and I am an old man, so that tells you something. Let's see here. I'm also letting our Facebook fans know that we are live. Okay, great. So people can hear me. That's good. All right. Okay, so let me just do one final check with Andrea, see if she's able to rejoin us. Hopefully so. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll wait to hear from Andrea here in a minute. We'll actually just see that she sees the link. So And if any of you are following along with the with the stuff that's happening, because there's news breaking every couple of minutes on New York Comic-Con, which is great. This is like Christmas for me. If you love comic books and manga and anime, this is like Christmas. So if you see that, if you see something happening news-wise, please feel free to share a note in our chat, and we'll probably talk about it if we've got time. So we'll go from there. Okay, so I do see Andrea. I hope she. Okay, so Andrea, do you want to mute your mic? You want to mute your mic and say hey to everybody? See if we can hear you this time. If not, you certainly can chat via the chat in the larger, chat window.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
So you can hear me. Can you chat real quickly? Let's see.
I can hear you.
I hear you. I hear you. There you go. I can hear you. Okay, great. There we go. All right. So can everybody hear Andrea? Can everybody else hear Andrea? So can everyone hear Andrea? Great. Oh, excellent. All right. Well, fantastic, Andrea. So it's good to hear from you, Andrea. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So let's first of all get out of the way some of the things going on with you, and that way then we can then jump into the stuff we want to talk about. So first and foremost, you are the creator of Saigami, one of our most popular series. You joined Saturday M. What issue did you join Saturday M?
Saigami started in issue 4, but I sent in my application upon seeing issue 2, and we had an interview in issue 3.
Got it. Okay, I was going to say, I thought you appeared in issue 3. That was an interview. So, folks, if you go all the way back from when we launched the magazine, Andrea was our first female creator. The first female-led series was Saigami, and that has now been that's all been over 4 years ago. And you found out about us, Andrea, from where? Did you see it through like a white manga video, or did you see it because of Manga magazine?
I think it might have been Manga magazine, but I'm not sure. I'm sure it was too wide, but I'm not sure if it was a video or Manga magazine anymore.
Got it. Okay. And I remember seeing your work. I remember being impressed with your work. Probably when we started. I mean, when we started the magazine, there were a handful of creators that I had looked at and thought, man, this person's really got something. I could see us working with them. Obviously, I didn't know anyone by name. I mean, in fact, what a lot of people don't know is that I actually did not meet White in person, as well as Andrea, until last year. That was the first time I actually met White and Andrea in the flesh, in person. Before that, the only people I had met had been Raymond Brown, who was the very first person I met, David Yoon, Mikhail Dingle, back when he was working with us, Mikhail Sebastian Dingle, whatever his name is now, but the creator of Mythoclix Nova, he came down and I met him. This was all our first year. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's more people than that. But David Yoon and Raymond are the two people who are in the company still that I first met at the very beginning. So tell people real quickly a little bit about Saigami. And for those of you who do not know Saigami, I will bring up some really cool images while we are talking. So can you tell everybody a little bit about Sagami, the plot of Saigami and stuff?
Okay. Saigami is a sort of a hybrid manga, mixing both shonen and shoujo elements. So I always try to make it fitting both for female and male readers. The story is kind of like an isekai, so the main character gets transported into a whole new world. It's a fantasy story. Did it just disappear, or is it just me? Oh well, so yes, Saigami is a fantasy series. If I would want to pitch it, I could say it's basically like Inuyasha meeting the Legend of Korra.
All right, so guys, can anyone hear me at all? Is anyone hearing me?
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now. Okay, let's see if they can hear. Because I do see you popping up on the chat thing there. So let's see. Okay, so you guys can hear now. That's very weird. Don't know what happened there. So you guys can hear. You can hear us both now. So something, I guess, when I shifted over to the screen to show the page. So folks, this is what I mean by booty technology. We're actually going to talk about this in a little bit because I saw a really awesome thread that I want to paraphrase a little bit or steal a little bit, because I thought for anyone who's looking to be a creator, this thread was awesome. I'm going to point to some links to it in our group. But okay, so Andrea, you're back. And so Andrea, how old is Ayumi?
Come again, please.
How old is Ayumi, the character of Ayumi?
16.
She's 16. So again, in the case of Ayumi, folks, she goes to this fantasy world. She meets these two really cute guys, and she, of course, now is on her pathway to becoming a Saigami, which is this elite warrior force. You know, again, for me, I think Inuyasha, Legend of Korra, these types of series really connect in terms of what the series potential is for Saigami. Of course, you know, we have hopes that this will be even bigger than that and can do even more unique things. But as of right now, we're really excited with the pace this is going, and people have really started taking to the content. So Saigami is just one of the series that we have at Saturday AM. But Andrea comes to us all the way from Hungary. She's now in Canada, but we discovered her initially in Hungary, and really excited for her to be such a major voice within our company. I would love to see more women in our company because, again, our entire point of existence is to bring manga to the next level by making it more diverse. That means more unique characters. That means more ethnicity, more nationalities involved. That means more gender roles being highlighted. So if you're a female character, you can still be in an action series as the lead character. So we're really excited about all those different pieces there. Christina, Andrea told you, don't forget Chibigon. I don't know who the hell Chibigon is. Who's Chibigon?
The little dragon.
What's that?
The little dragon. How can you forget?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, because I've got like 1,000 things in my mind. I'm already thinking to myself why we went mute for a few minutes. I'm thinking I know why it was, but I'm not sure. But okay, well, so there we go. So I think we have now learned a very important lesson, kids. Do not go live when you're showing Sagami. But no, that's not. Okay, well, Andrea, again, thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. Now, Andrea, if you can pull up all the questions you've got, I got quite a few questions as well on Instagram. We'll get to those in a minute. But first, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about some of the news that's happening right now in the industry. Because, folks, if you're not familiar with Saturday AM, what we are, again, is we're the world's most diverse shonen manga anthology. We produce 20 issues a year. Every 2 weeks, a new issue comes out. We feature great creators like Andrea Voros, who are exclusive to what we do, so you won't find them anywhere else. And our focus is trying to take manga and anime, things that we love, by the way, to the next level by trying to give it by giving it new perspectives and new ideas. And so we're really excited that we've grown the level we have. You can see here on this main screen, which is from the cover of our website. It's not even all the characters that we published, but you can see here already. You see kids. There's a kid who's Indian, a kid who's Latin American. There's a kid who's an African American female. There's a guy who's got a giant afro, who's African American. There's a kid with a Jamaican character with dreads. There's Asian characters, all sorts of diversity throughout the ranks of this, including a sheep. So again, our focus is trying to tell really amazing stories with diverse casts and with diverse creators. You can see right here with the art styles on display, these are just an amazing group of creators that we've assembled, and we've got even more. This is not even all the creators that we've got. So we're going to be talking about ways you can support what we're trying to do. One big way is announced. But first, let's just kind of get into some of the things that we're running into and talk about some of the other things that we're doing. And I see Raymond Brown is trying to rain on our parade, Andrea. Raymond Brown, he's being rude in the chat, Andrea. But all right. But so getting to it then, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening right now in the world of Saturday AM. So first things first, we are on track to hit our 100th issue. And folks, this is significant because this is such a rare thing. It's just never really been done before. So our magazine is digital. You get our magazine, it comes directly to you on your smartphone, on your tablet, or on your desktop. You can read it in either format. We are working on an application, but as of right now, we do not have one. And you know what? In 4.5 years, it hasn't stopped us. People who want to read our material are happy to get a high-res, high-quality, super vibrant PDF, and they can open it natively onto any application, any application they choose on their smartphone, their tablet, or their desktop. We're really proud that we are going to hit our 100th issue before the end of the year. A lot of people try to do what we do, and they try to do an issue and they stop after the first issue because it's hard, or the creators flame out for various reasons. We've lost very few creators. And so from that standpoint, we're really excited. So we have these great stickers we did back at Wizard World Chicago Con, just highlighting this. And we got a lot of things planned around our road to 100, which is what our hashtag is for this big event. A lot of big creators will be coming to work with us in the next couple of weeks and months. Likewise, you're going to see a lot of cool content, and we got some big announcements coming. The first, of course, is our Kickstarter. So wanted to give a quick shout out on that. I think probably one of the biggest things that we get asked about quite a lot is just some of the things that we're trying to do to promote what we do. Like what all is Saturday AM? Well, Saturday AM, of course, they indicated. We have lots of things that we do. Some of those things, for example, are we have a subsequent magazine called Saturday PM, and that magazine has been a bit difficult because it's new. These are all new creators except for White Manga. And so the things that we've learned in creating Saturday AM, which is our digital magazine for Shonen content, we've had to kind of reteach new creators for our Seinen magazine, Saturday PM. But it's a great magazine. We are truly, truly proud of Saturday PM. We're hard at work on getting the 3rd issue out. And the 4th issue, we are very close to signing 2 creators that, folks, when you see their stuff, it is going to blow your mind. I do not think it's at all unfair for me to say that in Saturday PM, they will probably end up being the White Manga of Saturday PM, even though White Manga is in Saturday PM with this series right here called Bakassi, which will continue inside of Saturday PM exclusively. But these guys coming up, in terms of just mega raw talent, that is something that Saturday AM has just delivered pretty consistently in the last couple of years. These guys are at a level that's just crazy good, and it's very apropos that Andrea is on the call with us, because Andrea is the one who introduced me to them. But these young men are really, really good, and I think when you see their stuff in issue 4, which you're hoping to get out before the end of the year, your mind will be blown, and there will be no question about the power and standing of Saturday PM. But as a magazine, it's a really great magazine. Great interviews. We've interviewed some pretty big name writers and artists. We interview also some of the hottest cosplay models in the world, including Lady Nakoro, which you see here on the cover. And of course, we have original content that's just unique and different. We certainly, decided this year to take our time with Saturday PM. So we've really focused on trying to produce good content and produce really amazing layouts. And we've been honored that we've gotten such positive feedback on that regard. But when it comes to Saturday PM going forward, we certainly intend to be a bi-monthly magazine in 2019. And so our goal right now is to get issue 4 out by this year, issue 3 first, and issue 4, have all those completed before the end of the year, and then start 2019 off right, and we'll be bi-monthly. And again, we'll have these 2 new creators joining us. We have 2 other new creators that we're talking with, and there's a handful of creators that have approached us that we're vetting now. But we feel pretty strongly we're going to have one hell of a lineup for Saturday PM in 2019. To be able to support both of these, we have a subscription. And whether you're going to support our Kickstarter, which we're going to talk about later, or not, we do very, very much hope that you will please support our magazine. It's a premium subscription. You get 20 issues a year of Saturday AM. And of course, you're going to get up to, again, because we might not hit that number, but you get up to 6 issues of Saturday PM. You can see here with just the images, the covers on display, that we have some of the hottest creators online. These are creators you won't see anywhere else except for Jay Oden, who is a published comic book artist with companies like Oni Press and Antarctic Press. But short of that, these creators are all exclusive to Saturday AM, and they're amazing. And so we're really happy and proud to have this. Great value as of right now is $30 to get both. So super great value. You'll pay a lot more money in traditional comic books or with even other manga magazine anthologies, like the likes of Shueisha with Viz with Shonen Jump. So we're really proud to be able to offer this type of content. You can find all this information on our website. But now, before we get to our Kickstarter, I want to talk about some news. I want to get to some news here. And first up, Andrea, have you heard of the Teen Titans?
Yeah.
What do you make of the Teen Titans, Andrea? What do you think of the Teen Titans?
Well, I never actually seen an episode or read any comics. I'm just memes
That
and
hurts me.
arts. I'm sorry. Hungary.
Yes, yeah, hungry. How many of you guys out there are loyal fans who are following along on this great thing here? How many of you guys have? Sorry, I'm trying to pull. There we go. How many of you guys have read Teen Titans? Anybody know Teen Titans? This is one of my all-time favorite series. When I was a kid, this was the comic. I mean, this was the comic. And so they have this has become a big thing. It's really quite it's really kind of exploded in popularity again recently, thanks to the Teen Titans Go cartoon, which, to be fair, is nothing like the original comic book that I grew up with in the 80s. This is actually from the original comic book, featuring one of the best artists of comic books ever, folks, George Perez. I mean, if the history of comic books is amazing, but oh my God, George Perez. When I was a kid, he was Akira Toriyama, he was Jim Lee, he was any artist you think today is awesome. That was George Perez back then. George Perez and John Byrne, and I remember this scene in the comic. Well, anyways, they have a TV show coming out. So they have a live-action TV show called Titans, and it's on the streaming DC Universe. I have been testing out the DC Universe. I'm going to be doing a big review on the DC Universe app and whether or not we think you should support it. What I can say is that right now they are basically going the old school model of saying, hey, here's all this old content, here you go. But they, very early on had announced they're going to be doing live action original shows and some animated original shows. The big live action animated show is Titans, which is a adaptation of the new Teen Titans classic comic book from the 80s. This is going to be from the same team. So if you guys have ever watched Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash, it's from the same team, including Greg Berlanti, who's like the super producer of all of that. Some of the costumes look great. Some of the costumes don't look great. And I think that some of the criticisms I've heard, even though obviously when it comes to comic book fans, sometimes it can steer into racism at times or just ignorance or bigotry. I can say that, yes, I mean, the costumes are definitely different. Starfire, for example, being very, very different. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm very curious to see what we're going to find out with these characters. I'm very curious to see, where all of this will go. But they did reveal a trailer. The trailer was, from my understanding, was very in the first 2 episodes, and it was very well received. And I think, the reason I want to talk about this is I think this is really interesting because I think that, when I started Saturday AM, I had a business plan. I had a business model. I came from the video game industry. I'm not a fanboy. I actually had a career in the video game industry. So this was stuff that for me was very, something that I was very much connected to. I was very much interested in how the business of this was going to work in terms of, creating comics and telling stories and things of that nature. So, I don't know. I find this whole thing with DC Universe fascinating because at the end of the day, if this succeeds, well, then that the companies that own IP in Japan are going to do this, right? You know, any company's going to do this. We know Marvel right now has a plan to do this with their they're part of Disney, so theirs is going to be a whole different operation. But with their Disney, I think it's called Disney Play. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that they're going to be having, and I'm curious. You know, I'm really curious because what the thing about animation and anime is that to do it live action is really hard, right? Because no one looks like that. No one looks like that. I mean, it's amazing what Marvel has done because they've taken these actors, they've bulked them up, and they look as good as their comic books, you know, counterparts in so many ways. In some cases, they look even better. But you know, for anime, it's a very different aesthetic that in live action doesn't quite play that way. Some of the hairstyles and of course the ethnicity question and stuff is a very tricky angle. And so I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens if this is successful. What do you think, Andrea? What do you think about this, and what do you think this is going to do?
Like about DC or adapting the characters?
Well, let me say this. Have you heard of DC Universe? Have you heard of it?
Yeah, of course.
Are you excited to see it? Have you is that something that you and Peter would subscribe to?
No.
Right. And so because you're not into those characters and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I never was into DC that much. I've seen the movies. I didn't really enjoy them. So yeah, I don't think I will invest money in following.
But now, okay, so now my question to you then is, now let's flip that a little bit, and let's say that this was Shueisha, and they said, hey, we got a brand new app coming. It's gonna be called Shueisha, Itadakimasu, yeah, but it's gonna be like, Shueisha, like a some fun adjective that you could think of, and it's gonna be basically all their anime at any time you want to watch, and because they know that you're not just gonna pay to watch old stuff, and we're gonna be working on live action adaptations, a la Bleach, a la Gintama, a la Naruto. Would that be enough to trigger you to pay, $7, $10, $12 a month?
Possibly. I'm not too fond of live action adaptations, but
live action anime adaptations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are, yeah, they are hard to make, so they are more on the cringy side usually than on the exciting or amazing.
What did you make of Bleach, the live action?
It wasn't bad. I don't know, I would give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It could have been better. They did some things well, but in the end, yeah, I don't think it was that bad, but I wouldn't see it for a second time for sure.
We have a review coming for Bleach as well, and I thought, for an anime movie, I thought this was pretty amazing. And again, that's for an anime movie. Like, I mean, beyond that, this wasn't that great. But in terms of an anime movie, it was really good. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting to see, because I think this is where we'll see things go. I think that this is the future of content right now. A lot of these companies, they are trying to find value and money wherever they can. The consumer has so many options of where they can go, including something that, again, when I was the age of many of the people on the chat, I never and I worked in the video game industry. So I mean, I was an executive in the video game industry, but you could never have told me 20 years ago, when I first got started in the industry, that people would watch people play video games for money. That they would actually, pay to watch someone play video games, and that they would watch someone play video games, and the people who played video games people watch them, they would make money. Like, no way I would have ever thought that. And so I just think that we keep going to this place where it looks like, technology and culture and everything is changing so rapidly. Standpoint, I do find it interesting that if if you're a company like Shueisha or DC or Marvel, this idea of having your own space that has all of your content for your fan base that already pays, if they collect comic books, $5, $6, $7 a month, if not more, then why not just have them pay for an app and have original content in there as well as library content? They'll be, you know, forever kind of connected to you. And so it strikes me as a thing. I think, again, the live action is going to be the question. Can the live action piece, which I think is really where the bread and butter is, right? Because it's different, right? I mean, you can get anime from anywhere. A lot of people steal anime, as we know. So you can get anime from anywhere, but live action is a little trickier. So, you know, can you pull off something live action, and would people be willing to pay for it? And I think that's going to be the big question for DCU, for Disney Play, which will have lots of Marvel stuff in it. And then ultimately, I think you're going to see an anime company do it. I'm pretty confident. I think Crunchyroll just got bought by AT&T, I think, here in America. So yep. Okay. So any other questions on that, Andrea? Anything else that's crossed your mind on that?
I was just thinking about the Avatar adaptation that Netflix will be doing, the live action.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. I mean, it can be.
Do you pay for any of the streaming services? Do you pay for any of them?
Yeah, I have Netflix and Crunchyroll.
Okay, right. Yeah. So that's So I mean, I think most of our fan base probably Netflix and Crunchyroll or Hulu and Crunch, you know, some combination of those. But yeah, absolutely. Another thing, they've announced original animation on DC Universe. I think we all know about Young Justice. Now, do you like Young Justice, Andrea? You don't like a Young Justice?
No.
Oh my God, that's a great show. That's a good show. You got Young Justice, and then you've got they just announced now Harley Quinn, which will be starring Kaylee Cuoco, whatever her name is, from Big Bang Theory, a show that I've never watched. But yeah, so I mean, so it's gonna be interesting because I think there's gonna be that break between some animation stuff and then some live action stuff. And again, I think you're gonna see this in anime manga at some point. You're gonna see a branded anime manga thing that has all these things wrapped into it, you know. And again, like I said, I'm a big Shueisha fan, Shonen Jump fan. Like if Shonen Jump did something like this from Japan, I don't know if I'd do the American version, but if Shonen Jump did something like this from Japan and made it global, I probably would do it. Sure. Gintama, Bleach, you know, all the properties that they've had that have been converted to live action. And of course, a lot of their animated stuff, some of which, by the way, never makes it here because they're OVAs and or they're just Jump Festa specials. I mean, I would pay for that. I would totally pay for that. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. But Young Justice is great. I see other people agreeing. Young Justice rocks. All right, so Andrea says, I know you're not into that. Then let's shift gears a little bit. Andrea, what anime are you looking forward to for fall anime season?
Well, Fairy Tail the most because you know it will be the final season of the anime, and I'm a big Fairy Tail fangirl. And there will be 2 new sports animes. One is Hinomaru Zumo, which is from a Shonen.
We're gonna get to those in a minute. We're gonna talk about those in a minute because I got a bone to pick with you on those. No, I don't. Actually, I think something funny about those. But but I know you, so I knew that was coming. I knew it was gonna be sports anime. All right, so yes, folks. So new anime season is upon us right now. So that means that this is one of the great things about Japanese animation. Now, this is one of the things about Japanese animation that I truly, truly admire. There's a lot of things that, you know, obviously I think, you know, can be fixed or they need changing. This is one that I do not think that about. I think the fact that they have new seasons every season of anime, I think is just really fantastic, and it really constantly keeps you engaged, and you get new ideas and new. You get, you know, new original stuff. So I'm really, really excited about that. I have never been into Fairy Tail, I must say. Never been into Fairy Tail. I tried to get into it, just never really grabbed me. I like Mishima's stuff quite a bit. In fact, in some ways, I prefer him to Achiro Oda. But which of course, if you know Mishima and Oda, then you know there's a lot of similarities to Mishima's work to Oda's work. He very much is inspired by Oda. But you know, I don't know. I think it's great that Fairy Tail is ending, and that they're giving it a chance to go out with it. It's one of the few non-Shonen Jump anime that has really kind of exploded and picked up a fan base in the West. When you think about anime, that used to be the case back in the 80s when I was a kid. You had, you know, Kodansha properties that were huge, like Inuyasha. I mean, that's right. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, Inuyasha was later, but Urusei Yatsura and Mason Ikoku and Rama Half, and a lot of properties that were really big. Did not come from Shonen Jump, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think that it's been interesting to see what's happening with Fairy Tail, to see it kind of hit the growth that it's hit. Is this going to be one season of anime, Andrea, or is it going to be multiple seasons?
It's gonna have 24 episodes, so it will run until the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm. So you think it'll all run this season? Or you think they'll do 12 and 12?
A season is 12, and it will have 2 seasons.
Two seasons, okay. Yeah, I think they call them like cores in Japan or something like that, but 2 cores,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, well, yeah. So it sounds like a lot of people in the group are similarly somewhat mixed about Fairy Tail. Another title that you listed that you're really looking forward to was Sword Art Online, and this is the show. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I do not follow Sword Art Online. Isn't this like the incest one? Isn't this the one where like there was some weird incest plot line, or am I mistaken?
Well, there was something in the second season, or was it the second course? So yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was some weird thing about how at the end of the first season, he like tried to make a move on his sister, or it was something weird. Now, and I don't know what it was. It was something bizarre. Is that? I don't know. It was something bizarre. I remember people saying. I remember the reviews I kept reading saying, if you can get past that, you may like the show a lot. But there were a lot of people who were kind of caught up in the middle of that. Okay.
I'm not sure. You might mix it up with something. I mean, yes, there was the main character's sister falling in love with her brother and things like that, but that wasn't the main focus. But yes, Sword Art Online is not the best written series, so that's not the only issue it has.
Well, it is huge. Again, this is another one of those properties, non-Shonen Jump properties, that has really caught on globally. It's got a fan base in many, many countries. I know a lot of people are excited about the 3rd season. It had a motion picture. So, I mean, there is something here. This also is like the poster child for the light novel movement, right? Like this was a light novel series that really exploded, right? So, so you're looking forward to. I love the fact that you're like, well, well, there's a lot of problems with it, but I'm looking forward to it.
I've seen all of the seasons so far. I've seen the movie. There are parts of it that I enjoy, but if I had to pick, I would watch the Sword Art Online abridged over and over and over again, because there's just so much better than the original series.
Okay. Yeah, well, I never got into it. I read the comments, like I said, that suggested that there were some issues with, just some weird kind of, I mean, we have to, as I always say, like, you can't love something without calling it for what it is. And again, the diversity issue is probably my biggest issue with anime manga, and then the kind of over sexualization of young women is always kind of my other issue. But regardless, yeah, I think that. I know that there was this title that because I thought that the stuff I read, which you shouldn't always do that, but I'm old, so I was like, I don't have time to watch everything, so I just kind of discarded Sword Art Online. I tried to get into it. I really did enjoy for some time Log Horizon, which was another light novel and another kind of trapped in a video game sort of premise. And I thought I really enjoyed the first season of that. I thought that was really good. I didn't see the second one, but I enjoyed the first season quite a bit. I thought this was probably more my speed. But then when you and I were in Chicago, Michelle Massarolo was telling us about Overlord, her and Anthony Jackson. And I have to say, have you seen that yet, Overlord?
I've seen 1 or 2 episodes.
You didn't like it?
It's more like that I didn't really have time to watch anime, so I plan to catch up with it because it seemed good. But it didn't grab me as much that I would binge it or something. So it's on my waiting list at the moment.
Yeah, I'm with you probably. I haven't had a chance to get into all the episodes. I did watch a few of them and was very impressed. And again, same premise, trapped in a video game, but obviously it takes a different attack with it. And I really enjoyed the basic plot constructs regarding him having to play this bad guy. So I don't know, but Sword Art Online, I know it's got a lot of heat on it. People are looking forward to it. So we shall see what happens when it hits. Let's see. Next up, I want to talk about one of my series I'm looking forward to, and that is the one and only crap. Here we go. There we go. The one and only Golden Kamuy. Have you seen this, Andrea?
No, I know you recommended it
Shame
for
on
us.
you, Andrea. Shame on you. Shame on you.
I'm sorry. Insert a crying gif here.
Such a good anime, and it's such a good graphic novel or manga. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good. This is seinen. This is not shonen. But what I love about this, and this is where I think anime sometimes really rocks. And I know there's questions about the production because it's got some CGI elements, but manga goes places that should be live action, but they'll still do it, and therefore, just get away with some things that just, live action, you would be like, oh, well, we can't show that in live action. Good fiction does that, by the way. I remember reading Preacher when I was in college, and Preacher, of course, now it's a TV show, but you never would have imagined Preacher becoming a TV show, when you read the original books. But they went there. They went places with the book that you thought, well, we'll never see this. Maybe in anime, but never in live action. And because America doesn't have quite the animation scene that Japan has, at least not yet, the idea of seeing Preacher animated was questionable. Now that it's in live action, I look at something like Golden Kamuy and like that should totally be live action. But the fact that it's animated means that you can do things, particularly with the bears, the grizzly bears, attacking humans and just clawing the shit out of them. It's something. I gotta tell you, it's a pretty amazing series. It's a pretty amazing series, I have to say. It's really good. The second season hits, I believe, in a couple of days, October 8th, and I can't wait. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Andrea, will you please watch the show?
I will. I promise I'll be good.
Okay. And those of you watching this, I hope you will do the same thing and watch the show. It's a great show. It's a great manga. Give it a chance. It's really good stuff. But now, Andrea, because you're going to do me a favor, you're going to watch a good show. I'm going to do the same for you. It's not a good show, but I'm going to watch it because I know that you care about this. Now, what you guys don't know is that Andrea is our resident. Andrea is known for two things at Saturday. She has an addiction to gifts, and if she can communicate entirely in gifts, she would. The second thing is that she is addicted to sports shows with boys. Not sports shows with girls, sports shows with boys. Whether the boys, are gay, doesn't matter to Andrea. Yuri on Ice, or they're pretty boys who, writhe around and do various things like Free or Haikyuu, or I'm surprised Yawamushi Pedal isn't on your thing. But now is her latest sports manga. There was one. She's got two of them that she wants to see animated. One of them I'm looking forward to because it's legitimately badass. The other one has the pretty boy thing written all over it, and it's called Run with the Wind. Andrea, tell our group what Run with the Wind is all about.
Marathon running. I've seen the first episode just this morning, and I'm not in for the pretty boys, just so you know, because you made me sound like I'm some mad Fujoshi, which I'm not. So far, we don't know much about the story. We just got introduced to 10 guys. By the way, one of them is from Tanzania, so they at least have a little bit of diversity. So there you have it. And they will do some traditional Japanese marathon running. So far, that's all I know. But the reason I was looking forward to this anime is because it has the same creative team that made the Haikyuu anime, like the same director.
I thought so. I was actually going to ask you that. I thought so. It did look very similar.
Yeah, it does. And so far, it has great animation, and you can kind of get that Haikyuu vibe, like the same as the anime has. I wouldn't call the first episode too catchy or flashy because it didn't had any climatic moment or anything like that. but I'm interested, so at least I will give it like 3 episodes and see where it goes.
Well, I don't know if I give it 3 episodes, but I will tell you this, because you're my friend, you're my business partner, and someone that I'm counseling for gift addiction. I will watch the first episode for 2 reasons, Andrea, and I'd like to show you those 2 reasons right now. I could care less about the pretty boy thing, but this is the first reason right here. So I saw the dog and thought, oh my God, I got a dog in here. You know, I love dogs. You know, I love my little dog. So I thought, you know what? Yeah, okay. I can get with this dog anime. This looks like a cool little character. I can get with that. So it won me on that front, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And then as I was going through images for our video today, and I was like, whoa, like, is that a black dude in anime? Sold. Sold. Diversity. Lord have mercy. Good God. So yes, I'm on point to watch this show. I will not give it 3 episodes under any circumstances, but I will give it 1 episode for the puppy and the fact they have some diversity. I would have given it 3 episodes like you, Andrea, which, by the way, you owe me for Golden Kamuy. You must do this.
I know.
I would have given it 3 episodes, but I have to be honest, the name maybe deduct 2 episodes off of it. Run with the Wind just killed it right there. It was like having a series called like, you know, Footsteps on the Pedals or something like that. I can't. I can't. Can't do that. So, but we shall see. We shall see. In fact, we should do something. We should do something in our private group. The guy, everyone watching this video doesn't know, but you know, we have a private intranet group for all the Saturday AM creators and Saturday PM creators, and we get to, you know, just hang out as a group. One of the small highlights of being in our company, and we frequently talk about stuff and share stuff and have conversations in the group. And one of the things that I would like to do is kind of have a bet about what fall anime, you know, is we're all looking forward to, and then which ones actually will be good. Because, you know, some of these things start out kind of good and they end up being booty. The final anime that Andrea listed, and I must admit I am looking forward to this as well. I've never read the manga, but I've heard nothing but great things about it, is Hinomaru Zumu. Is it Zumao? Zumu? Is that, do you know how to say it? Zumo?
Hinomaru Zumo.
Okay, yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to it. It's a sumo wrestling series. It takes a variety of approaches. So it does have the shonen feel to it, but it also goes a bit more realistic in terms of the fights. And then, of course, it goes into the kind of the escalation shonen jump, you know, Prince of Tennis sort of thing as well. But considering that it's more physical fighting, I guess the best way to put it in terms of what I've heard and seen about it would be that it is kind of like, and I say this respectfully because, you know, this other series is a masterpiece, is kind of like a poor man's or a shonen version of Baki the Grappler. So if you've seen Baki the Grappler, if you've ever seen it, and I'm old, so Baki was a big thing when I was young, and the fact that it's still a thing is just a testament to Baki. But this strikes me as kind of like that. I wouldn't say it's as good as that, but it strikes me as kind of like a shonen version of that. Andrea, tell me why you're looking forward to this.
Mostly I'm just interested how they adapt the manga, because I read the first like 20 or 30 chapters of the manga, and I enjoyed it. The art style was really cool, very dynamic, very intense. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see that animated, but I also have my doubts because I'm not sure if they will do a good job with that or not, because so far the trailer didn't show too good animation, so we'll see that. Also, it's kind of funny that they kind of changed the character design. Like everyone looks like boys in the version. They look a little bit different in the manga, so.
Oh, okay. So these, because somebody in the chat said these are all pretty boys, and I didn't realize that when I grabbed the image, but yeah, they do look like pretty boys.
Yeah, so they changed the facial features of the main character the most.
Mm.
He's not handsome or anything in the manga, so it's kind of funny. So I'm not sure if I will watch it till the end, but I'm interested to see the adaptation.
Hmm. Okay, well, we shall see. We're going to see how this turns out. Folks, here's all I can tell you is that, I'm not a huge anime watcher, so I'll watch, I just don't have the time. So I'll watch some stuff when I can. Um, Andrea clearly is addicted. So we're gonna do this chat in our side of our private group, but then we're gonna bring it to our website about the anime that we're looking forward to, what anime we expect to be good, what anime we don't expect to be good. If you see this image on your screen, if you see this image, you'll know that this was an Andrea selected series. And if we dislike it, 9 times out of 10, if I'm the one giving the commentary about why it wasn't very good, I'll do it with a GIF just to kind of spite Andrea. But that right there tells you that Andrea, she's all about these pretty boy anime. So all right, so okay, so let's talk about our Kickstarter, and then let's get to some of these questions. So we are doing a Kickstarter. This is something that we attempted once before, our very first year. And the reason we are doing it is really quite simple. After what is about to be 5 years of hard work and growing a fan base and having some of the best creators in the industry, creating some of the strongest original characters in the industry, we have very much come to the level of we are ready to kind of take this to the next level. Now, this is why this series, by the way, I know there's some people who are new and they're like, why is this called Pub Talk? What is this? Well, this is what the Pub Talk is. I'm the publisher, and I talk about the things. I try to be very transparent about the things that affect running a company, because I don't care if someone wants to join Saturday AM or not. I would hope that people are able to take away the learnings that we've gathered, so they can apply them for their own success. And there's a woman named Spike Trotman who had an excellent thread on Twitter. I'll see if I can link to it on our Twitter account, or like it and then retweet it, because it was really, really good. It's stuff that I've said before. So, but obviously Spike is frankly more successful in comic books than I am. I just got started. She's been doing this for several years now, but she's got a very she's very opinionated for sure, but she's got a very thoughtful rumination on just how it is to try to succeed in comics. And she has made her success in Kickstarter. I mean, without Kickstarter, I don't know exactly what her thing would be, but Kickstarter clearly has been something that has helped her dramatically. And frankly, she has helped Kickstarter dramatically because she's really brought the sort of opportunities to producing content to the table, and then being able to have this sort of understanding and exploration of what it means to be an independent creator in this new digital world we live in. So I think the two are intrinsically linked, and I don't think that she would disagree with that. So while she might not, be a comic creator of the standard of Dark Horse and Oni and so on and so forth, she knows about this current landscape we live in better than anybody, I think. So we never really have tried this. We tried it once our first year, and this was really, I think, a testament to just what she was talking about, which is creators going into stuff and thinking things are going to be a certain way. And the difference, of course, is that, I wasn't, White or Andrea. I'm someone who's got 20 years on both of these, on all these young people. So, I'm 20 years older than all those guys. I've got a corporate career. I've got a lot of success and things that I've done in the video game industry. So for me, I came into this with intentions that were very clear-eyed, right? There was nothing about what we were doing that I looked at and thought, okay, well, it's gonna happen just like this and just like that. But with the Kickstarter, I did think that, that first year that, okay, we should be able to do this. We got, 15 or so creators, not 15, we got like, 10 creators who are really top-notch and really popular. And, this is a really cool idea. We're already doing something, we'd already done like, 10 or 12 issues at that point. And so it just seemed like it was kind of a no-brainer. And I was woefully wrong, and we did not do well with it. The issue for us now is that we've proven quite a bit. We do have very popular creators. White Manga, was not very popular when we first met him, and now he's super popular. Andrea, is super popular. Jay Oden, who has just joined our group recently, is super popular. Blake Showers, who just joined our group recently, is super popular. We've had creators that we've discovered and developed who are really popular or about to be very popular. People like, Oscar Fong, who does Master Multiplayer World of Ghosts. Morgan Walker, who does Soul Beat. Jamie Molina, who does Paradise Down. And so on and so forth. So Jeffrey John Luis, who does Yellow Stringer on Saturday PM. So there's a host, and I can go on and on and on. Trust me, all of our creators are great. And so, we do actually have numbers, and we have creators who are really popular, and we have a history of being able to produce great content. So we have all these things in our favor. Still doesn't mean we're going to have success in this Kickstarter. But the reason we decided to do it is because we knew, after everything that we've done to date, that at this point in time, what needed to happen next was for us to take our brand into your local store and prove that we could do as strong as work from other bigger publishers. So if you are Yin Press, if you are Kodansha, if you are Viz, if you are Seven Seas, if you're some of these companies who are producing manga content and releasing them into your local comic book store, your local Barnes and Nobles, your local Books A Million, we feel very strongly that Apple Black and Saigami and Hammer and Clock Striker and many of our other titles can compete at that level. To do that means we've got to produce inventory that we can keep. Right now, we don't do that. Again, when I started the company, I run the company in a very, very conservative way. Personally, I'm not conservative. Socially, culturally, I'm not conservative. But when it comes to money, as Andrea will tell you, I'm super conservative. I remember when we were in Chicago, and Andrea and I were the last ones at the show. And Andrea wanted to grab something to eat before we went to the airport. Remember this, Andrea? Are you even listening to us, Andrea?
Yeah, I am.
You remember what you wanted to eat before you went to the airport in Chicago? And folks, what you don't know is this petite, sweet little woman wanted the most expensive meal at McDonald's, and I had to think twice. About doing that because she's a small woman, and that's a very, very expensive burger she got. That burger was almost as big as Andrea, but that's how conservative I am. I'm a cheapskate. And so the bottom line is that, we looked at Kickstarter and thought this is a great way for us at this time, after so many years, to try to go out to our fan base and beyond and see about raising the funds we needed. Because again, the way that we run the company is that we run the business in a way that allows us to be very agile. We don't have a lot of debt. We don't have a lot of things that are weighing us down. When you start producing books that go into retail, you have to have a stockpile of books. You have to have books ready to be sent out to various retailers. Carrying inventory costs is expensive. And so we knew that we didn't want to go down this route without support. So this is why we started the Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter is meant to do the following thing. We are doing this Kickstarter so that we can produce a brand new graphic novel line called Saturday Tanks Perfect Edition. Now the Perfect Editions are those are essentially the it's kind of like the way the Japanese use names. Sometimes they don't always make a lot of sense. That's kind of how it is for us in this context. We're not perfect. We're not saying we're perfect, but the Perfect Editions are really our way to try to replicate the manga aesthetic physically, as well as Joaquin Machner says, basically you're socially liberal and fiscally assertive. Exactly. So the Perfect Editions are really our way to try to put all this stuff together in a way that that best replicates the feel of Japanese manga. And so, we've got these books. They're going to be sized more appropriately than our current graphic novels. So if you bought Apple Black before, this is a different experience. It's shaped differently, the layout slightly different. It's got brand new artwork. It's going to have brand new material in the book, and it's going to have several pages in color. Hammer by Jay Oden, which has never appeared before, we never published it before, is going to be entirely in full color. Saigami will be similar to Apple Black. It'll be a brand new presentation, a remastered edition of the original Volume 1 with many things fixed and enhanced, including editing, some lettering aspects will be corrected, some resolution issues will be corrected, and then there'll be some new material. Andrea, do you want to tell everybody what your new material is for Saigami Volume 1 Perfect Edition?
There will be a brand new chapter. It will be a canon chapter, so it's not like it's going to be like a side story. Like if you have the first volume, it had a short Christmas special, so it won't be like that. But it will be a totally canon chapter fitting into the story, the events of the first chapter. And apart from that, I will include new bonus content, more designs, more about the story, how I developed things for the first volume, and of course there will be the color pages as well.
So we're really excited, as you can see then, because we've got some really great content that'll be coming in for each one of these books. But that's not all. Obviously, we know that we're trying to raise at this. And here's the thing too: we're only raising a very minimal amount of money. We want to raise more, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But our goal is $10,000, folks. $10,000. And if you think about that, if you go on Kickstarter, the average Kickstarter on Kickstarter is asking for the same amount of money for one book. We're asking for the same amount of money for 3 books. So we're trying to fund 3 books to kick off this line. And then hopefully we'll do another Kickstarter in the future. We've already got them planned that will consist of Clock Striker and other projects we want to do. But as of right now, we're trying to kick this off with 3 books to the tune of $10,000. And yes, these are like Tankobon. That's why we call them Saturday Tanks. So as Andrea said, there's going to be fantastic new content in there. And I want to show you guys some of the content we're talking about. So first things first, obviously you're going to get the subscription to Saturday AM. So that's obvious. But that's not the first thing you get. That in fact, they won't even be the first thing you get at all. What you'll get is this right here. You get some really cool stickers. These stickers are actually die cut and assembled by Andrea herself. So if you love like kind of cool stickers, you're gonna love these. These are not the final set that you'll get, and they will be random. So you'll get, you might get, a couple of characters. It might be a character you really want that you might not get. And we're doing that just because obviously we want to have some collectability into it. But we will have more characters, and they will be in this very cool chibi format. And we're really, really, really excited about these. Again, these are custom handmade by Andrea and her team. But beyond that cool little thing, we have some bookmarks. We have gift cards. So one of the gift cards we have, they all have original artwork on them as well. But one of the gift cards we have is a $100 gift card in our store. You're looking right now at the artwork for the $100 gift card. This is a gift card you'll get at one of the higher levels. It features the new artist of Clock Striker drawing Clock Striker. This is what Clock Striker is going to look like when she returns. And again, with this gift card, exclusive gift card, you'll be able to use this in the store, in our store, and that will include apparel, prints, some of our existing tanks that we have on the market, which include Mutton Chop and the soon-to-be Paradise Down, Bully Eater, and several other series. Or if you want to get the old school Apple Blacks, Volume 1 and 2, you can do that. But you get all of that. You can get all of those things, including many of our back issues, or all of our back issues if you wanted to, with this $100 gift card. And this will be generated and sent to people who support us at higher levels. Now, all this stuff you can find on the Kickstarter page, and I will make this available to you here shortly. One of the big things early on is going to be some digital magazines. Now, you won't get the subscription up front. The subscription happens, I think, at the $60 reward tier. So, and the reason we're doing that's really simple, because we don't want to lose focus from what we're trying to do. We want people to be able to go in and support us, because we need to be able to make money every month. So we want you to still subscribe to our magazine. But when it comes to the magazine itself, we want both, right? We want people to go to our website and subscribe today for our subscription, whether it's the $5 level, which gets you all 20 issues of Saturday AM, or it's the $30 level that gets you Saturday AM and Saturday PM. We want you to subscribe today. But if you do the Kickstarter as well, at the lowest levels, every level after this will include it, but at the lowest levels, you will be in a position to get 2 very special digital magazines. You can find the artwork for both of them on the Kickstarter page, but right now, I want to show you Saturday AM, the 0 issue. This is the special 0 issue of Saturday AM. What does that mean? It means that this issue will only be available to people who support our Kickstarter. You cannot find it on our website. You won't be able to find it anywhere else. And it's going to include brand new content never before seen in Saturday AM, such as chapter 0 of Hammer. So this is a story that will give some crucial backstory to the Hammer Saturday tank that is the point of this Kickstarter. The story will not be in the tank. So you'll get this digital issue that has this 25-page short story in it. And then you may also get the book if you subscribe at a level that gets you all the books you want. Inside of this issue will include lots of content. You'll get brand new Clock Striker stuff. White Manga's going to be in there. Andrea's going to be in there. Some of our top creators are going to be in there with either short stories or additional images and things you've never seen before, all meant to represent our 0 issue. But the big thing is the very first sneak peek with sequential pages of Saturday Wars. Saturday Wars is our big 2019 event that takes all of our characters and pits them against each other. So, Andrea, I want to ask you a question. Who do you think Ayumi can beat Apple Black? Can beat Sano of Apple Black?
Well, I guess we figured it out in Saturday Wars. No, I don't think so. No.
Oh my goodness, woman, we've got to work on you. Oh my goodness, you could have said yes. I mean, it's your character. Well, what I'm going to tell you guys is that that this is going to be a great issue. This is going to be a great series. Saturday Wars is going to be huge, and this is just a preview of it. Trust me, we're going to talk about Saturday Wars a lot in 2019, and you're going to read it in 2019. But Saturday Wars, the key thing about Saturday Wars is that it's going to have all of our characters. You're going to see a lot of cameos from people who are not a part of Saturday AM. And the general idea is that there's a war coming, and it's affecting all universes, meaning any comic that's ever been created is being affected, whether they're by DC, Marvel, Image, Shueisha, Kodansha, Akita Shonen, or Saturday AM. And so the question is, how do our characters end up participating in this? And why is it so important that it's happening on Saturday? And it's really cool. And it's a story that I designed literally almost 5 years ago. And I've tweaked it only a couple of times because we've had obviously some creators that I thought were going to be major players in our company and weren't. But the core team is the same, and that is Sano from Apple Black, or the core characters, the star characters. Sano from Apple Black, Ayumi from Saigami, Cass from Clock Striker, Asao from Bully Eater, and then a handful of characters from there. Every character who's in Saturday AM will shine. And the idea of this was that, again, I got tired of looking at manga where characters interact with each other and they just never had any, like, I mean, it wasn't real. It wasn't a real thing. Like the idea that, like the Jump Force video game, like the idea that you're going to have, Goku, who can destroy planets in his Super Saiyan God mode or whatever, go up against Naruto, or not Naruto, Rurouni Kenshin. It was just crazy, and that's why the characters never met, because it was, it's hard to tell those stories, and if they did meet, it was always silly. It's hard to tell those stories if they need real clarity, unlike DC or Marvel, who, the characters, whether you like it or not, tend to have just a bit more grounded reality to them. So my vision for Saturday AM from the very beginning was that I was going to build a company that felt as kinetic as Marvel or DC, but had the same sort of appeal, aesthetics, and action of shonen manga. And Saturday Wars is kind of the culmination of that. So we're really excited about this. We've been talking about it for years. It's been rumored for years. People have been asking me about it for years, but it is coming. It's going to be pretty amazing, and you're going to get the first glimpse of it here in our 0 issue. The other issue you'll get will be we'll get the Saturday AM primer. And this is a special, you can see the cover again on our Kickstarter page. This is a special magazine that's going to be designed to give you all the pertinent information about our characters. So if you're new to Saturday AM and you want to discover this great multi-universe, series that we have, Bully Eater to Master Multiplayer World of Ghosts to Mutton Chop to Paradise Down and so on, Comet Man and so on, then you'll want this primer, because it has information about every core character of every series. Everything you want to know: what's their powers, how tall are they, where are they from, what their ethnicity is, what they do, how they fight, what their origin is, all this stuff. So it's kind of like a primer. It's kind of like a first step to getting into the Saturday AM, wheelhouse. So really excited. Yes, someone's asked the question: will it affect the stories of each series like Marvel or DC? And so I don't want to spoil that, but I'll just say that because I'm a lot older than a lot of our creators, I thought about this for a long time about how to do this and have it honor your average manga anime series, in our case, our characters, and at the same time have it feel, again, as epic as Marvel or DC, which I don't think you can. Again, I think that's why Marvel and DC are Marvel and DC. Regardless of how big manga might do in Japan, I've never bought the argument that manga is bigger than American comic books. I've never bought that. American comic books, transcend their comic book stories. So whether or not the comic books are the thing and are selling at the levels of a manga sells in a country that just happens to really love comic books, it's questionable. I know this. I know Spider-Man is a hell of a lot more popular than Naruto. So those are kind of the challenges. And so what we want to do is try to bring those sorts of realities to mix. And that means, of course, yes, there's got to be something consequential that occurs. And I think, I've thought long and hard about how to do this in a way that will satisfy everybody. And I think people will dig it. So that's one of the big prizes. Now, one of the other sort of prizes that we have is these crossover prints. And so actually we have there's a couple of prints, and I didn't capture all the prints. So I'm just going to show what I can here. You can find out more on our website, of course. But so one of the prints here, these are both by White Manga. So now, if you subscribe at the high, if you support our Kickstarter at the lowest level, meaning like the lowest level, if you do that, then you will get what we call Road to 100 prints. These are digital prints that you can enjoy on your desktop or on your smartphone or your tablet. Each of our artists, Andrea, J. Oden, and White, did one of these images. So we've got 3 of these really beautiful images by each one of them. You can see all of them on our Kickstarter page, but this was from White. And you can see White's rendition of Sano, Ayumi, and Stud from Apple Black, Sagami, and Hammer, respectively. This is a digital piece of wallpaper that you will get exclusively with the other 2 digital wallpapers for the $5 reward. And then every reward after that will still get these digital prints. The big prints, though, that I want to talk about as well are the what we call crossover prints. And these prints involve our characters versus popular manga characters. So in this case, you can see Apple Black versus One Punch Man. Apple Black versus One Punch Man, illustrated by the one and only White Manga. This is going to be a gorgeous 11 by 17 print on super durable matte finish paper. You're going to want to hang this on your wall. This print will be one of the first prints you can get at one of the higher levels. And it'll be, of course, by White Manga himself. There are two other prints, one from Jay Oden featuring Hammer, his series Hammer versus Full Metal Alchemist. And then Andrea has a print. Andrea, your print features Saigami versus who?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts. Not even a manga, but Kingdom Hearts.
There is the manga of Kingdom Hearts. It's not
There is a manga. You're right. You're right. You're right. Folks, we pleaded with her to make Sagami versus Run with the Wind, but we decided no. This is not, that's not strong enough. But Andrea has given us a beautiful image, by the way, of Sagami versus Kingdom Hearts. So really excited about that. These are big. Again, you can find prints like this going on Kickstarters for a lot of money. We're putting them together. Now, all that being said, of course, when you've got the amazing creators like we have, then really anything is possible. You'll be able to get custom prints by these guys. Whoops. I did the wrong thing here. You'll be able to get custom prints by these guys. That's something that again, is really something that you don't see a lot on these Kickstarters. And if you do, they're really expensive. We've made them very affordable for our fans. So you can get a full color, full body print of your character or some other character that you want them to draw by Andrea. I think, Andrea, you start at, I think Jay's the cheapest. Jay's at $250. So $250 gets you all these rewards, including a commission by Jay Oden at $250. $350 gets you all these items, including a commission by Andrea Voros. And then for $400, I think it's $400 or $450, you get all these items plus a commission by White Manga himself. So again, if you love the amazing work from these really kick-ass folks, and you get a chance to do these types of series, to get this type of artwork on your character, you get a chance to check those out. So really, really excited by that. And again, I want to thank Jay and Andrea and White for really coming loaded to support us with this great Kickstarter. Again, the goal of the Kickstarter is to produce 3 graphic novels, not 1, not 2, but 3. We're asking for a minimum amount of money, which is $10,000. We've already surpassed 2,000. We have, I think it's been less than 48 hours. So we're really excited about the possibility of hitting even more than that. And if we go past that, there are going to be stretch goals. We've announced some of them. One of the biggest ones is this right here, the Illo sketchbook. So we're going to be doing a sketchbook that will be featuring the sort of paper and the sort of opportunities to improve as an artist that we believe in. We have been big fans of Illo sketchbooks. We discussed with them over the summer about ways that we could put our content together with what they're producing and have a really awesome, brand new type of sketchbook. So we've taken the best from both companies and put them together, and this is going to be huge. This is going to be a massive, massive, massive sketchbook that you can find, that you're going to be able to find them in stores. And we've already started talking to retailers about carrying the sketchbooks. And but again, when we do them is one thing, but if we want them done faster, then if we can hit the stretch goals in our Kickstarter, we can make this a reality. So imagine over 100 pages of crisp, high quality, 100-pound paper that allows you to be able to color in a variety of formats and never have it bleed through to where it ruins other pages. Imagine being able to have pages pre-filled out with Saturday AM artwork that you can test coloring on. So if you're an artist that's more so on the design side or more so on the coloring side, this book still has options for you, as well as sketching stuff out. We're super, super, super excited about this. It'll also come, of course, with some digital goodies. We're super excited about this, but again, we can only get there, or we can't get there any sooner without the Kickstarter. So we want this Kickstarter to happen, and we hope that you guys will come out and support us with this Kickstarter. Again, the Kickstarter is 3 books from 3 of our hottest creators. All we're asking for is $10,000. Apple Black Volume 1 remastered from the original black and white version. Now, a couple of pages will be in full color. There'll be brand new content. And of course, there's a brand new cover, brand new editing job. A lot of resolution issues will be fixed. Some lettering mistakes will be fixed. Same thing with Saigami, brand new prelude chapter that you've never seen before, only available in this version. Several pages in full color, remastered production values, meaning less resolution issues, fixing of some editorial mistakes, better lettering, you name it. And then Hammer will be in full color, over 350 pages of Hammer. That is a feature unto itself. 350 pages in one book from the one and only Jay Oden. Andrea, any words you want to give on this before we start taking questions?
I think you pretty much
Come on, Andrea. Come on, Andrea. Run with the wind. You think I covered it all, Andrea?
I think you did.
Okay. All right.
You did a good.
Thank you, Andrea. All right. Well, yes, you also don't know this, but Andrea, if you guys ever watch our Instagram feed when we go to conventions and stuff, because there's always a bunch of us that go, you know that we have a lot of fun, and we truly do. One of the proudest things, the things that makes me so proud, is that I tried to build a good company. And I've built a really good family of people. Everyone here supports each other. Our group is just really, really, really strong. And but one of the things I love is that we tease each other pretty ruthlessly, and I love that. And Andrea is someone that if you ever are feeling bad, as sweet as Andrea is, she will not help you. Andrea is a pull yourselves up by bootstraps type. So I got some unfortunate news at the Chicago Wizard World show that we were just at. And I turned to Andrea for comfort, and she was just like, yeah, that sucks. No, like, it'll get better, buddy. You'll pull through. She was just like, yeah, you'll be all right. So I want to thank Andrea for what we call tough love in America. All right, so we have a lot of questions. We want to get to those questions. First up, we're going to get to the questions we have on Instagram. Andrea, you had a couple. Why don't you go ahead and ask those questions, and we can answer those, and then I'll be pulling up some that I have on my Instagram. And then, folks, if you have questions that you want to ask, we don't have a lot of time, so please post them right now in the live chat on YouTube, and we will get to those. Andrea, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and give the 2 questions you had on Instagram, or if you had any more, you can do those too, and we'll try to answer those together.
Just check. So there was a question that's more for drawing. So, how do you draw anime consistently? I think my answer is that I really don't. I mean, my style changed a lot ever since I started drawing Saigami, and I think I'm pretty inconsistent when it comes to the length of her hair and things like that. But it's mostly just practice. And if you want to keep consistent with your efforts, it can help if you have a character sheet in front of you or references, even for your own characters.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get used to your own characters. Whenever I introduce a new character, I always have a character sheet in front of me because I want to remember every detail. So that's how we can stay consistent, in my opinion.
Yeah, let me jump in on that real quickly if you don't mind. I'm not an artist, folks, so just take this as just an old man. But so the question, of course, as Andrea said, is how does she draw a Yumi consistently? And you could have asked that question to anybody, right? That could be a question for White, for how does he draw Sano consistently, Raymond Brown by Sal, so on and so forth. here's one thing I can say. As a publisher, as someone who's entertainment side of entertainment, video games, comic books, so on and so forth for over 20 years, here's what I can say. With Saturday AM, if you join Saturday AM, if you're unfortunate enough to join Saturday AM, one of the things I put on all of our creators is I tell them they've got to produce new content once a month. Whether or not they're appearing in the magazine at all every month or every issue, they've got to produce new content of their character once a month, one new image a month, preferably more. But you got to get in the habit of once a month having a new image of a character. And the reason is because what I know is just what Andrea said. Consistency comes from practice. So whether or not we're talking about basketball or playing the guitar or, being really good at your job, this comes from consistent, frequent work, right? Like you have to do the same thing over and over and over again to get really good at it. And so I always challenge our folks to bring us marketing materials every single month. Do a new piece of marketing that we can use every month of your character. If you're doing that, it's doing two things. One, you're actually doing something with your character every month, because a lot of times, the quickest way to get burnt out of this stuff is not to do it. The minute you stop doing it is when you discover, other things, which, and those other things may or may not be things that can distract you from what it is that you say you want to do. There's a reason why actors who have spent years homeless or struggling to make ends meet, when they finally get that big break, you're like, man, people are like, oh, wow, how come they don't have any children? How come they're not married? Because they spent all of this time perfecting their craft. Even when they got nothing out of it, they were doing everything they could to get closer to their dream. Consistency is the only thing that is going to make you better. And so I just wanted to throw that in there. What's the next question you have, Andrea?
The next question is, how badly is Saturday AM or Saturday PM looking for manga that's either historical fiction, mystery, and or dark fantasy?
Yeah, so we've gotten this question quite a bit. It's how badly do we want in Saturday AM or PM mysteries and dark fantasies and or historical fiction? I mean, look, at the end of the day, so I wear two hats, right? I wear the hat of being like all of you. I'm a fan. I was a fan at the same levels that many of you guys are. So I understand all the things that are there when it comes to trying to get content. But I also have a business view. And the business view at this stage of my life trumps the fan view. So what I would say is that at the end of the day, what I want is something that's going to sell. I want something that's going to be really exciting for our readership, something that's going to make people want to see it. And there are some properties that I look at, and I know these are hit properties down the road, not right now. So properties like Better Off Ignorant. I know what that property is. I know what that property can be for us, but it's not going to happen immediately. It's not going to happen right now. And so I know that with those creators, they're giving me exactly what I want, but it's still going to take a while for that series to pop, because there are other factors that need to happen for that, including factors of the company of Saturday AM itself being run the right way and having the right fan base and the right marketing to make that series pop. Same thing with Spoon, same thing with Comet Man, same thing with quite a few of our series. Saturday PM, of course, a little different because Saturday PM is new, so there's a lot of room to kind of break things as we try to develop new ideas. We're not desperate for anything except for something that's going to sell. So if you bring me a series that is a romance comic, but it looks like it's really funny, it's got great art, it's got a great plot to it. Every time you finish it, you're like, you can't wait to see what happens next. Then you know what? I may not really be into romance comics, but I'm going to want that romance comic. If you're positioning us something that could be the next Kingdom, which is a historical fantasy sort of thing, or Vinland Saga. Again, these are not series that are going to pop immediately, but these are series that have tremendous upside because we know what that marketplace looks like. I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, again, if you're telling me something that's a tough sell, so I had a couple of creators who were talking to me about a title, and it's very complicated. It's very difficult because I don't think that we are the publisher for that title. I think both of these young men are super talented, and I think that that they're capable of doing really amazing stuff. But I'd rather them bring me something, frankly, anything else than this particular property they're trying to bring me, because it's just not it's not right now at a level that we can work with. So at the end of the day, again, dark fantasy, historical fiction, mystery. We have a mystery title called Yellow Stringer by Jeffrey John Lewis. We'll take any of those, but the artwork, the concept, the execution, the perspective, meaning that the way you're approaching it, they all have to be right for me to think, you know what, this can sell. And if I believe it can sell, then we'll publish it. If I don't, then that's where we have a bit of a challenge. Okay, so any other questions, Andrea? Or did you want to add anything to that?
No, that's all it from my end. So.
Okay. All right. Well, then let me pull up the ones I have here then. And Andrea, you are welcome. You're welcome to speak. Okay. Yeah. Whoa. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. Andrea, I'm going to let you have this first question. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Why are you so awesome?
Like you or?
I don't know. They Saturday AM, but why are you so awesome?
You're just born this way.
Remember, folks, she's not American, and yet she said that like a true American. Yeah, I don't know how to speak to that. I think you know, I've said to our guys quite a bit in our private chats that, you know, one of the things I'm proudest of with Saturday AM, again, that we have a very family oriented group. Everyone there loves and respects each other. We're all from different backgrounds. We're all from different places of the world. You know, we have you know, white, black, Latino, Asian. They all get along great. But my biggest thing I love more than anything is that we're normal. You know, I think that's one of the things that always strikes me is that, you know, none of us are like super cool or this, that, and the other. We're normal. You know, we all have geeky elements to each other, and as to be expected, because we're all geeks. I mean, you don't do this stuff and not geek out. Even I don't care how cool you may seem on the veneer. This is one of the benefits of being older too, because I see some of our folks who come across as cool, and I can detect all the geeky aspects of them, and that's just the way it is. Because at the end of the day, you don't do this without being a geek. You do not make comic books without being a geek. It just doesn't happen. There's no way you're willing to sit in front of a desk or a computer or whatever and do something like this unless you are someone who is a geek. And I'm a geek, even though I'm into non-geeky things like sports, but I'm a geek, you know. And so I love that about our group. It's very open. Let's see. Next question is, what's one of your favorite manga that you guys produce? Andrea, what's one of your favorite manga that we produce?
Well, I love all of our series, but if I have to pick like top 3, then it would be Apple Black, Z Forever, and Paradise Down for me.
And Paradise Down. Okay, yes, Andrea. I love, and it's like I hear that, and it does hurt me a little bit, the fact that we don't have enough female creators that are producing stuff that you would think is cool. Like, cause you're like, these are all male series with male leads, and it's like, damn, we don't have more characters, you know, that kind of, you know, have that bent. But those are 3 great series, though.
Like I said, I love all of our series.
Exactly. Very good, Andrea. Very good. You've gone to Freddy school. Very good. Yes. Yeah, I think I'm the same. Well, as Andrea said, I don't know where she heard that from, but yes, I love all of our series. Truly, I mean, as I've said before, people have been like, they're like, you don't like them all, and my whole thing is I do, because I'm coming at this from a different perspective. Like I'm not like our creators. I'm not doing this because I want to create something. You know, I have a vision of what we're trying to create, and what we're trying to do, and who we're trying to take on as the company gets bigger, and I know it's going to take for us to get there. So every title we publish is there for a reason. There's nothing that we publish that wasn't the case in the first year, in the second year, but this year, everything we publish, I would say since about issue 66, 67, everything we publish is something that we want to publish. These are titles that we believe in for very, very, very long-term reasons. And so with that being said, I've gone on record. I think one of our best writers that we have in the entire company is David Yoon. I think Spoon is one of the most consistently entertaining series, even though artistically it's very different. But again, it appeals to me. I'm older, so I mean, the artwork doesn't bother me as much. I know some people want everything to look like Apple Black, but it doesn't. Obviously, I love right now. I'm loving the way Massimo the Player with the Ghost is coming along. I'm a big fan of the character of Bully Eater. I think there's some great things coming with that character down the pike. But probably right now, I would say the series that I always really enjoy quite a bit is Spoon. I've been really impressed with Jamie Molina, who's really turned things around with Paradise Down. He's hitting a good level with it. I love the assuredness of Zero. I think every time I see Zero, it's just great. Same thing with Soul Beat. Every time I see Soul Beat, it's just so mature. Like it's such a deliberate work. Like I say, there's really nothing we put. But Boy is one of my favorite series in the company. So I love all the stuff we do. I love it all. Let's see here. What else do you have here? Next question. Will Apple Black and Saigami get an anime in the future? Andrea.
Sure.
Nice. Very nice. Sure. Like, you offering? Yeah. So I will take that question and just say that we have been active discussion about animation. Very, for not quite our first year, but certainly into our second year, I had discussions with various people that I knew. Because again, I'm not. This is not something I'm new to. I've done business with all these companies. I know quite a few of the companies that you guys. I produce content you guys have enjoyed. So this has been something that's always been part of the plan. The part about Saturday AM though, and the way I've tried to run the company is that I've always tried to make it clear to our creators, from White Manga to Andrea to new creators like Anthony Jackson, Bharat Lujani, Tony Dawkins, and so on. I've always tried to make it clear that we're not chasing animation. We're not chasing animation. For us to do what we were trying to do, the only thing that we have to chase is being good at what we do. As long as we prove to be exceptional at making great content as comics and then creating great comics like this Kickstarter is going to help us do, that you can find at your local comic book store that can take on, or bookstore, that can take on the big companies, because we think we're producing content that's that good. As long as we can exist on that level, everything will come to us. And sure enough, it does. But I think this is the great, and I'm going to talk again about this Iron Spike thing here shortly. That's going to be the way I end this chat, the pub talk today. But at the end of the day, folks, you can't chase this stuff. We've seen the company that try to chase this stuff, and it never works out. Why? Because animation is super expensive. It costs $300,000 an episode on average. So if you're paying $300,000 and you just all because you got a neat idea, you think someone's going to make an animation of that, and you've never sold it. We know we sell stuff. We've traveled around the country. We haven't been to just one big convention here, one big convention there. We've been to Wizard World shows. That's what we did this year. We showcased our brand to tens of thousands of people across the country. And everywhere we went, Saturday AM was a hit. And so we know what we've got. We've sold plenty of Apple Blacks and Sagamis and Bully Eaters and various titles that we have, subscriptions, to know that we've got. So again, we're not chasing animation. If we do our job, they're chasing us. And I can tell you that they're contacting us. We're having those discussions. I have a very specific idea of how I want us to do animation. And so we're going to have to find the right fit. And when we find the right fit, it'll be announced. And I'd be willing to bet before the end of next year, we will have made an announcement that we've been wanting to make. So you guys will go from there. Let's see. Next question. Our final question on Instagram. Is your Kickstarter for issue number 0 going to be a reboot to your manga line for retail? So no. Again, issue number 0 is a reward. It's not the Kickstarter. It's a reward you can only get on the Kickstarter. Saturday AM issue number 0 and Saturday AM Primer are just 2 digital magazines that you can get only via the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is for our graphic novel line called Saturday Tanks. It's a new version of those called Saturday Tanks Perfect Edition. It's a redesigned It's a remastered graphic novel featuring the content of our most popular series, and we're producing those so we can carry the inventory to make sure we get these into retail at Barnes and Nobles, Books A Million, you name it. So that's what we're working on, and that's what the Kickstarter is for. So help us get there, but it has nothing to do with the Zero Issue. The Zero Issue, we're not restarting Saturday AM or anything like that. Nope. Okay, all right. So Andrea, you got room for some more questions? We got some questions on the chat. Okay, Jimmy Crossfade says, and I remember Jimmy from the March Art Madness, says if anyone were to apply to being an editor or writer for articles in either Saturday AM or Saturday PM, what would be the thing you guys would be looking for? Reviews, preview pages? Andrea, do you want to say anything here, or would you like for me to say something?
I will be better with this topic.
So I'm actually gonna be making a big push to get writers in shortly, because we do have some big things we're gonna be. Again, like I said, this is just the kickoff, folks. We got things we'll be announcing towards the end of this year. So we got some big announcements coming. But what I will say is that yes, the writer thing, editor thing, these are very important for us. We are desperate to get more talent in this area. You need to have stuff. You need to have stuff. You need to have, if you're, so in other words, if you're going to try to be a writer of articles, by the way, yes, then you need to have articles written. You need to have some blog posts. I mean, it doesn't matter if, because I always hear this excuses like, well, I want to be a writer, but I don't have an artist, which is just ridiculous. That is one of the sillier things I've ever heard, because writers write. That has nothing to do with whether or not you have an artist. A real writer writes no matter what. They'll write a short story. They'll write a blog post. They'll write a novel. They'll write articles. They'll write interviews. They'll write just because they have to get it out of their system, just like an artist draws. So from that standpoint, if you're a writer, if you want to be a writer for us and write articles, which is what we need, then please find, you got subjects happening right now, like New York Comic-Con, various things happening, DC Universe, the app, all these things, Jump Force. There's so many things to talk about. Come up with an idea, write a blog about it, post a blog on your Facebook page or on your Tumblr page, somewhere where we can be seen by people who want to evaluate your work, so that when you come to us and say, hey, I want to, I'd like to, submit to being an editor or a writer, that there's stuff that we can look at. That's the key thing. But yes, we do need to see reviews, preview pages, whatever you've got, we need to see it. And I would argue that having blog posts, you want to review a video game or a movie, those are great, but we need to see all that stuff. Let's see here. See, Joaquin Magrin says, what do you guys think of Noir Caesar? And, Dre, you want to answer this one? I will weigh in here real quickly. The next one I'm going to give to you, Andrea, because it's got you written all over it. So I don't really think anything about Noir Caesar, to be honest with you. I think that the reason we chuckle is because we've been doing this for a long time. When Noir Caesar got formed about, I think, last year or year before last, they tried to take some of our artists. Which look, I mean, I'll say up front, this happens in business all the time. And out of both Noir Caesar and Saturday, I'm the only one who actually has a business background. So look, at the end of the day, I'm not happy about that. And so the relationship started off badly from that standpoint. The people that were there who tried to do it know who they are. They were people, by the way, who tried to be a Saturday AM and they got kicked out. So they were gunning for us at some level or another. And now, they've, tried to do kind of the Saturday AM model. They tried to start a magazine like Saturday AM with Noir Caesar. It didn't happen. They then went to something else, doing like web comics or whatever. Look, I care about diversity. I care about seeing more people at the table. Obviously, and I think this is the case for all people of color. At the end of the day, you want to see you want to see your own people of your own culture. You want to see them succeed, but you want to see them succeed the right way. And so from that standpoint, again, I'm not happy with how they started. I'm not happy with the stuff that they did. You'll never see them contradict me on that because they know what they did. But at the same time, I'm happy to see them, if they are still, because I never quite know what they're doing. If they're still doing what they've been trying to do, which is get attention and hopefully get some series going, then I can support that, because I want to see more characters of color in the manga space. I want to see good stories. I don't know if any of that applies to them because I don't follow them. Many of them follow us. I see them pop up all the time, watching our stuff on Instagram and YouTube and stuff, but I don't really follow them, so I don't know. But what I can say again is that at the end of the day, is that if you are a creator of color, if you're a creator, period, who's trying to do something independent, we're here for you. All we ask is that you're respectful. I think that's true of anything, right? That's true of life. But if you're not, then that would be where the challenge comes in at. And so, as it stands right now, we don't really have much of a relationship with them. I know people try to put us together all the time, and I always find that kind of interesting because we came out long before they did. They've never referenced this. They've never said anything about that, but they know we came out years before they did. We are diverse. We have lots of creators. We have Andrea, who's from Hungary. I'm an African American. We have diversity all over our company. I'm always struck at the laziness of some of the journalists who never actually talk about that, who never actually give us credit for that. And we're going to talk again about something that Spike Trotman said. I want to talk because she made some really good points that I want to reference. But again, those sort of things, when I'm trying to build a company, do stand out to me a little bit. I don't know how much of that is them. I don't know how much of that is people who are trying to make them be something for their own purposes. I don't know. I mean, you'll see this in business all the time that, groups out there who have power will kind of pick and choose. That's why independent is independent, because, the guys who run the comic industry, the Marvels and the DCs get to dictate how things happen. Well, in the anime space, it's very similar here in the West. And there are groups out there who essentially pick and choose who they want to succeed. I don't know. All I can tell you is that for us, as I said about the anime question, I'll say again, and this frankly is a rule for everybody. You can't be good at everything. Don't try to chase things that you don't deserve, right? No one deserves an anime. But at the end of the day, if you're a comic artist, because unless you're making animation, if that's what you're doing, if you're making animation, then hats off to you. And then your dream of making animation will come true probably because you'll deserve it. You'll have worked your ass off to make animation. Then one day, maybe that will happen to you. You'll deserve it, frankly, more than I will, right? Because I'm not working on animation. But you got to be focused on something. You got to be good at one thing. You can't be good at everything. That's the term jack of all trades, master of none. You don't want to be a master of none. You want to be a master of something, right? You don't want to be someone who just sits in the corner, spouts off about stuff, and you're not really good at anything. So from that standpoint, what I've always challenged our guys, again, from white manga down to our newest creators, is to be focused. Do your comic, do the comic to the best of your ability, improve the volume, try to be in as many issues as you can. Produce good content inside of those issues. Don't just give me a chapter of Apple Black and the backgrounds are poorly drawn, which white never does. But I'm just saying, give your all to being a great artist. If you give your all to being a great artist, things will come to you. Video game companies will come to you. Animation companies will come to you. Toilet paper companies, T-shirt companies, all these companies that want your brand will come to you. And that's what's happening to Saturday AM right now. No one's helping us. Again, no company saying, we think Saturday AM will be the diverse company. That's not happening for us. I question if that's happening for other companies, but that's not happening for us. We're earning what we get on our own. And so from that standpoint, that's all there is to it. We just got to work as hard as we can. But we always get compared to them, and I always find that to be a bit disrespectful. We were here long before they were. If you can compare them to us, but I think it's a bit much to compare us to them. I think that's extremely silly. All right, so Vicinity Design says, have you or any Saturday AM creators thought about streaming on Twitch? I moved from YouTube, and the community is more active and financially supportive on Twitch. Andrea, as someone who's got YouTube, what do you think?
I was thinking about Twitch, but I have to figure out that I really can't do any more live streams with my current internet. So, yeah, that's not an option. So I'm just gonna focus on my YouTube videos for now and on the comic pages. So I don't want to do what you just mentioned, the jack of all trades, like doing all kind of platforms. So I will try to focus on YouTube and Saturday AM only. So I probably won't start a Twitch account.
Yeah, I'll say again, just like I said a few minutes ago. I mean, we would love to be active on Twitch, but as Andrea said, we just can't do more than we're doing now. If we grow, we get more money in, and we can grow our company in additional ways that we want, then that's great. But right now, we just can't do that. So again, I'm very conservative. I try to, put our efforts where we're going to get the most bang for our buck, so to speak, and that is for us. That sits squarely in the place of doing the things we're talking about, which is just working hard on creating great content. White is very successful on YouTube. I don't know why he would ever change to Twitch, but I could see a time in the future, as I said at the very beginning of today's chat, things like DC Universe and so on and so forth. I can see a time in the future where we have kind of our own garden, walled garden of content, whether it's YouTube, whether it's videos and audio and animation or live action or what have you, all within one subscription, one umbrella. I could see that for us in the future. I don't know if that's far in the future or closer. I don't know if we'd be any good at it, but I could see it because the idea basically is that we know we've got some really great content. We like to make it more accessible to people and make it more financially rewarding for us. And anytime you're going through someone else, it's more, it's not financially rewarding per se, unless you can do it in a way that you can kind of control your destiny. So that's something we would certainly look at. I don't know, again, if Twitch is the right place, but you never know. Let's see here. Seth Abrams says, if I model an original character for my manga after celebrity's physical appearance, is that against copyright or some law or something, or is it just an original? Andrea, have you ever pulled something from real life?
I did. I didn't use celebrities though, so I don't know. I mean, I think it also depends on various countries. I mean, various countries have different copyright laws.
That's right.
So it's best if you can look into that. But as far as it's a parody, it might fly. But I would be more careful with things like that.
Yeah,
it can be like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, everything Andrea said is 100% correct. So Savion, two things. One, every country is different. I don't know if you're American. I don't know. I don't know who you are, but I can tell you as an American, as someone, again, who's got a business background, that you're playing with disaster, my friend. You are playing with fire. I would not do that. That is, you can get sued, especially if the person is famous. You said celebrity. They can sue you. And so here's the thing, folks. Having success in America means you're going to get sued. I can tell you that right now. You're going to get sued if you have success in America. Someone, somehow, some way is going to sue you. Doesn't mean it'll go through. Doesn't mean it'll do any lasting damage. But getting sued, period, is never fun. So in America, the famous case with Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, he had a scene in a comic. It wasn't even a Spawn comic. It was like Sam and Twitch, which was like a little short-lived spinoff that he did with Brian Michael Bendis, actually, of all people, of these two bumbling detectives who are part of Spawn. I mean, Spawn is such a, I like McFarlane a lot. I like McFarlane quite a bit, but Spawn to me is just like I've never quite understood. Even though I liked Spawn back in the day because I was a kid, it was popular, but Spawn is certainly not a major property like that anymore. But regardless, these two characters, these two little detectives, the comic book, in other words, wasn't a big comic, but yet there was a scene where they were chasing somebody. They made some reference, and he just threw in the name of a hockey player, a retired hockey player, not even a popular hockey player. And yet that hockey player saw the comic, said that Todd McFarlane was using his likeness for money, and because Todd McFarlane was very successful off the Spawn, Todd McFarlane ultimately was found guilty and had to pay, even though it was some generic looking character. I can't say it looked like the guy. He just used the guy's name. It wasn't the guy because he used the guy's name. It was obviously another character. It wasn't this guy. And then just all the things you could imagine is why this is not the same thing. He was just like Tom Frost looking for a name. He's a fan of hockey. He pulled a name out of a hat and said, I'll use this. And this guy said, nope, there's enough similarities to it to me to where I feel like he's making money off of me and I won't have that. He sued and he won. So lesson to you folks, don't do that. Tadas Boykovus says, speaking of writing, I've once tried writing. I went on blog. I wrote a few chapters of what I had in my head at the time. Then it never came back again because my time got cut real hard. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to talk about this Iron Spike thing in a minute. But absolutely, this is the challenge, folks, is doing the stuff, is dedicating yourself to it, making the sacrifices. Comics are hard. No one's guaranteed success in comics. Vicinity Design says, she said she meant Twitch just for streaming. She still uploads vids to YouTube. So I don't know if it makes a difference with you, Andrea. I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me. I don't know if streaming means anything to me on Twitch, but I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, I know many do that. They stream on Twitch and upload videos on YouTube, and that's how I was planning to do it. But still, doing consistent live streams also take a lot of dedication.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, help me understand this again. I'm old. What's the benefit of streaming on Twitch again? So people can pay you while you're streaming?
Yes, they can donate you money while you're streaming. They can subscribe to you, which is, I think it's like a paid model or something. I run through rules only briefly, so I'm not sure about everything, but yeah, you can basically make money by doing live streams. You need to reach certain numbers, just like with YouTube, how you have to have like 1,000 subscribers in order to monetize your videos. So you need to meet certain numbers as well, but after that you can get money from that. Just like YouTube or everything else, it dedicates a high level of consistency.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just because obviously I don't do anything streaming of that nature in terms of producing something while I'm streaming. So I just I see Jimmy's note here saying, is there any way I can donate to the stream right here? And the answer is no, but we don't do this for you to donate to the stream. So I don't know. I get again. I've been keeping track of Twitch. I know it's a big platform. I know that gamers like Ninja are on there and stuff, and they're having quite a lot of success on it. For comics, I just don't know quite how it works. But I'm sure that again, we've got a genuine superstar in white manga who has a lot of success. We have great videos from Andrea, who's got a big following. Jay Oden, I think, makes some beautiful videos. So maybe it's something we look at in the future. I just the short answer is I don't know, but it's something we can look at in the future for sure. And he was saying, yeah, they get donations and bigger cut of ad revenue and subscription money. So interesting. We'll have to look at it, folks. It might be being talked into to do something new here. Okay, so I'm going to hit these last couple, and then we're going to finish up with the thing from the quote I want to leave you guys from Spike Problem, because it is so good, and I just think it would be a real. I'd be disappointed if I didn't read it to you guys because it was so brilliant. I'm gonna read that to you folks. But the last questions we've got here that I see. Let's see here. Joaquin Mogren says, Eric Savage says we're going to Comic-Con. The answer is no, Eric. We hit 4 conventions this year. We might hit a 5th, but Comic-Con won't be it. Jimmy CrossFit, Joaquin Mogren says, what genre is the video game? Is it a strategy game or a fighting game? What consoles will it be released on? We're still working out details of those things, Joaquin. We're supposed to come out this year. We had some changes in the design team with it. So we've kind of had to relook at it and restart some things. Funny enough, I got contacted by a colleague of mine in the video game industry who is very high up at a major corporation that you all know, but I can't say the name of it. So he contacted me just the other day and wanted to know what we were doing on this video game thing and how they could help. So we probably will be, again, making some announcements soon. We just got to, like I said, again, when you work hard, people come to you, and that's kind of where we are right now. So we'll see what comes of that. All right, so let's. All right, so again, let me just say again, folks, we have the Kickstarter. It's happening right now. I'm going to post the link for it right here in the chat, and then I'll post it in the group. Very, very, very excited everything that we're doing. And if you support the Kickstarter, again, we're trying to raise $10,000. It's for 3 graphic novels, not 1, but 3 graphic novels. And to the degree to which we can hit our number. In fact, I'm just looking now, we're close to 3,000. So that's really, really good. It's 30% of the number we want to be at. Here's the link. There's some great prizes in there, great rewards, again, including as we've talked about, this includes the 0 issue of Saturday AM. You won't find it anywhere else. It includes the first sequential pages of Saturday Wars, so you can finally get a chance to see the story come together before it actually debuts for everybody else in 2019. You get original pieces of art, brand new wallpapers by White Manga, Andrea Voros, Jay Oden, brand new prints featuring our characters versus popular manga characters, Apple Black versus One Punch Man, Saigami versus Kingdom Hearts, Hammer versus Full Metal Alchemist. All big, beautiful 11 by 17 size, matte finish, sturdy GSM paper prints. You get all of those things. You get bookmarks. You get, if you get at a higher level, you get the subscriptions. You'll get commissions either from Andrea or Jay or White. And then last but not least, the 2 biggest ones we have. If you want to launch your comic, folks, if you want to launch your comic, you can do so. We will help you launch your comic. What does that mean? How can we do that? Well, the answer is really simple, because what it means is that we will pull together your comic, and we'll do so by being in a position to showcase the work you guys are doing with ads, an appearance on the White Manga YouTube channel. We'll have editorial assistants to help you with your comic book story. We will do a custom illustration of your character for your series. And we'll put all of that together for $500. So if you're looking to be able to announce your comic in the right way, this is a way that you can do it. This is a way that you can do it, and it's just it's just nothing else like it. You get all 3 books. You get the prints. You get the digital wallpaper. You get the bookmark. You get all these extra materials. You get the digital magazines. You get all this content. The gift card, $100 gift card, and we will put together all of our resources to help you successfully launch your own comic and or webcomic. Of course, if you're producing something pornographic or something racist or something like that, we won't help with that. We will consistently ask you to provide us material that we can point to or use that is more appropriate for our magazines, but we will not be involved in stuff that is disrespectful to our mission statement. But if you are trying to produce a really, good mainstream comic and you want the sort of help that we can provide, we're here for you. $500 for the full year. You get all this great stuff. Likewise, for $750, you get the other really great things. You get the other really great thing. You end up getting some really cool stuff there, such as you get a chance to get put into a situation where you can have your voice in voiceover for the brand new mutton chop. To get the brand new mutton chop, and you get to get it in voiceover. We're really, really excited about that. If you ever want to be a voice actor, you get a chance to have that featured directly with our project. So we're really excited about that. Really looking really, really good. So don't worry, folks. I see the harassment. So we're reporting him now. And of course, they're the sort of person that has to hide behind a fake avatar. So no worries, but they are being reported and we're sending them out. So we'll go from there. But anyways, so we're really excited about that, folks. We're really excited about a chance to put all those things together. And we're trying desperately to get this stuff going. So we are working really hard to get these, some great rewards out there for our Kickstarter. And we're hoping that we can make all this stuff happen to the tune of $10,000 and beyond. So we're really excited about that. And again, 3 books are the biggest thing. Now I want to kind of move on a little bit, and I want to talk about something different. And we'll kind of move on to some other things here. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I'm not worried about the mods and stuff for folks. That's just look. That's folks. We talked before about racism and how it works and stuff, and that's what it is. That's why I said I hate when people try to compare us to other groups, because I know what our guys have been through, and you know, again, I've been at this a long time, so those sort of things don't bother me. But like President Obama says, don't get angry, vote. So in this case, you know, don't worry about this fool and trying to engage him. Help us with our Kickstarter. It goes a long way. So now let's see. So I want to talk real quickly, and then we'll wrap up here. But I want to talk real quickly about this thing that this Iron Spike Trotman said, because I thought it was such a beautiful kind of breakdown of things. I'm not going to read the whole thing, and I will link to it here as soon as I can. But for right now, I just want to. Right, I just was trying to pull it up. My computer's going super slow here. See if I can pull it up on this end. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So I was like, it was taking forever. I'm sorry about that, but here we go. Okay, where's her thread at? Okay, so Spike Trotman, she is an African American woman. I'm sure she's received, you know, the sort of things that we've normally gotten from the haters and so forth. But she's quite extraordinary. She had a lot of success on Kickstarter. That's where she began her efforts, was on Kickstarter. And she so she decided to kind of come in and now she produces content very different from us. Let me just say that up front. Our stuff is very mainstream, and Spike's stuff is more adult in nature. So she produces more adult content. But regardless, she had a lot of success, and she's big on representation, as am I. So she let's see. So she had this great sort of thread, and I wanted to read you guys a couple of things, because it's stuff that I've been saying for a long time. Those of you who've been following me for a long time know this, but the way that she put it was so well done. I thought, you know what, I want to share this because people need to see this. Okay, so she starts off by saying, so you want to work creatively for yourself. She goes, well, this is a series of suggestions. The source she's using is herself, the founder of Iron Circus Comics, Chicago's largest comics publisher. She, of course, as I said before, she got her start via what do you call it? Kickstarter. So she says, if you want to write, draw, or animate, or stream video games, you just want to have a dream job that aligns with what you're doing for free, congratulations, great timing. It's never been easier to achieve that, but it's still not instantaneous. Get ready for the long haul. Vanishingly few people launch their fun careers and find instant success. It will probably take a while. And by a while, I mean years. Years of being ignored, years of low to no feedback or praise, years of feeling like you're invisible. 12 people in your Twitch stream, 3 reblogs of your art on Tumblr, $200 gross revenue at the Comic-Con Artist Alley table. Congratulations, you're normal. And this is real talk, because there's no guarantee that things will ever improve. But life has no guarantees. So this is not a special case or anything of the sort. The main thing here is to persevere. You do not have an expiration date. If you enjoy what you are doing and it never expands beyond a hobby that occasionally will cover maybe that week's groceries, Maybe that's okay. It's up to you. Success is also not a zip code. There is no such thing as you're going to have more success if you live here or you live there. Because, folks, in the world you live in right now with the internet, hence why Saturday AM is a digital manga company, there has never been an easier time to have success. If you want to be in North American animation, then yes, you probably will have to move to California because all the big firms are down there, Disney and Warner Brothers Animation and so on. But the biggest Twitch streamer that Spike watches is a full-timer who supports a wife and a child and just bought a house. Currently, they reside in Tennessee. 2/3 of, I don't know what this means, MBM, BAM, I don't know what the hell that means, live in West Virginia. I don't know if that's her followers or what. I don't know what that is. But she says, these are not global entertainment hubs. By the way, folks, Saturday AM is based right here in North Carolina. This is the home office. If we ever, as I've told Andrea and White and everybody else, if we had the funding tomorrow, all of their butts would be moving here to North Carolina. They wouldn't be moving anywhere else. They'd be moving to North Carolina. As Spike says, these are not global entertainment hubs. They don't have to be, because the whole point of the internet is that it doesn't matter where you are. So if you're in Nebraska, stay in Nebraska. Why? Because the rent's probably cheaper. If you've got a Patreon to pay your bills and you're drawing content and you're in Nebraska where the rent is less than in North Carolina or New York City or Los Angeles, guess what? You may not have the best Patreon. You may not make the most money at Patreon, but the fact that your bills are cheaper in Nebraska or in Hungary or in a small town in Germany or a small town in India, the fact that you're on Patreon means that you got less money you have to make in the first place than if you lived in a big city. There's no fast forward button here, folks. There's no cutting in line. How fervently you dedicate yourself to your craft in grand gestures has no bearing on the outcome. Now, if your spouse is a producer on a hit TV show, well, then maybe this will work. Maybe that'll work. But here's the key thing, folks. Got advantages, you got to take them. That's the whole point of sustainability. So here's a dirty little secret in comics. Behind a lot of successful pros, behind a lot of the artists that you love, behind a lot of them is a spouse or a parent or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a family member that did a lot of the financial heavy lifting while the creative in question was busy establishing themselves first, frustrating few years. I doubt it's different in any other creative professions. And again, I know this is true for video games, music, so on and so forth. Creative industries are full of people who either came from rich families or were lucky enough to have someone in their corner while they struggled. Cezanne, Matisse, Manet, a whole lot of wildly successful fine artists came from well-to-do families that could afford them and their ambitions. And game dev, streaming, commercial arts are likewise packed with people who have spouses with good jobs or they themselves are children of privilege. And if this is you, fine, cool. Work that angle. That's okay. If mom says you can live in my basement while you finish your first game, if your husband says you can take a year to finish your novel, if you are thrown any kind of advantage, then fucking grab it today. Look for ways to make it happen. Look for ways to make the work that you've got to do as a first-time creative person a little easier. Exploit your advantages, because suffering doesn't make you authentic. It just makes you miserable. And finally, and most importantly, and those of you who follow me know I've said this for years, there are no meritocracies. Just being good enough is not enough. You also need to be reliable and productive and professional and available. And you must promote yourself relentlessly. No one is all of these things all the time, but you have to try. You are your own agent. You are your own publicist. You are your own project manager. Maybe one day, if it all works out, you'll be able to hire somebody who can be those things for you. But as of right now, it's you covering all the bases. No one will find you if you don't make yourself easy to find. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot more there. I will post the link in the body of this once I finish, because it's a thread on Twitter. So, you know, if you're following us on Twitter, I will retweet it so you can follow it. But that ultimately is it. The key thing here, folks, is that, look, comics, this creative sort of industry, you've heard me use the example for years now where I've talked about, as an African American, there's no greater thing in African American culture than the Black church. And the Black church, you've got women and men in the church choir who sing church songs, who are as good as Ariana Grande and Mariah Carey and you name it, Katy Perry, you name it. I've seen women in my life in churches that I don't even go to. I just went there one time, Black women who are extraordinary. And yet when they finish that church, session, then they go home, they get the kids ready for school or get the kids ready for bed or whatever. And then in the morning they get up and they go to work at the post office or at the grocery store. They're just normal people. And what that tells you is that talent alone is not enough. Simply existing is not enough. You have to be prepared to do it all. You have to be prepared to walk through mud, crawl through mud before you can walk, before you can run. And for some people, as you said, at the very beginning of a thread, that can take years. More than likely, it's going to take years. And so this is the key thing about Saturday AM. This is one of the big things about Saturday AM is the folks who come into Saturday AM, we get asked this question. Those of you who've watched my chats, we get this question all the time about, well, what does it take to be in Saturday AM? And the thing I tell them all the time is that, first of all, trust me, getting into Saturday AM is hard, and that itself is actually easier than staying in Saturday AM. That's why we've got the people who talk crap on our YouTube chats or who went and tried to start other companies and try to steal our artists, because they couldn't be a part of Saturday, because the mentality is not there. From the get-go, White, Andrea, and the rest of them have always known that I told them that I expected it to be hard, I expected them to work harder, and I expected us to have to really, really, really struggle before things got good. And the ones who stayed with us, the ones who are still here, understand what that means, and they've bought into it. Not everyone does. But long before Spike said what she said, like I said, I had a career in video games, so I saw this from a whole different angle, and I knew how hard this was going to be. So the key thing, folks, is that, look, I see talent all the time, and there's many people on this chat that we've either published or worked with and various things. So I know good talent, and I know that it's out there. I also know how hard it is. I know it's not going to be easy. I know you got to have professionalism. You got to have focus. You got to be prepared to work hard. You got to be prepared to struggle. You got to be prepared to sacrifice. If you've got something that's got to get out because you promised to get it out for your fans, or you're trying to hit a date at the end of the year to have enough material to make a book, but you're torn between a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're torn between this and that. If you're not prepared to sacrifice for your dream, then it's just going to be harder and harder. You've got to. That's why she said, take advantage of the opportunities that you got. If you got a relative or a family member who's willing to pay your bills while you're working hard, take it, because working hard is what you're going to be doing. But if you think it's going to come fast because you got good intentions, well, I meant to draw that chapter. I meant to do this. I meant to write a blog post article so I could, become writing article for Saturday. I meant to do all these things. I just didn't. That doesn't pay the bills. It's not going to help you get into Saturday AM or any other company, frankly. This is hard work. The person standing at the end is the one who wins, and you've got to be willing to fight through a lot to be standing here at the end. And so again, we're really, the Kickstarter, we said we've been doing this a long time. We've got, we could fund one of these books, but we want to fund all three. We want to have inventory so we can have them put into bookstores. That means we've got to, get more money than we've got. That's why we're doing the Kickstarter. We're really proud of the Kickstarter. We're proud of you guys for supporting us. And I hope you guys will keep checking us out. Now, on the path to the Kickstarter, we're going to be talking about it constantly. So I'm telling you now, I apologize for the next 30 days because it's going to be nothing but talk about the Kickstarter. But let me just give you a couple of warnings right now. Number one, we've got 3 big things coming up that will continue and bring more people into the conversation. Number one, we'll be doing a brand new pitch session which is where we discuss pitches that we received that can become comics and so forth. We're going to be talking about the Void Men that we ran as our last Summer of Manga title in issue 92, I think. So to that, or 91, I think. So to that end, you can expect that pitch session to be happening within the next week. I don't know who the fellow artists will be on that, but we'll certainly probably be Jay Oden. Number 2, we will be doing a new episode of our Saturday AM official podcast. White Manga will be the guest on that. So we'll be talking about music. We'll be talking about all this fun stuff, getting into his head about what influences him. I mean, White and I have never had a public conversation for a long time, for several years now. A lot of people have been asking for me to interview White and have White on. White, like Andrea, is a co-owner in the company. So it's going to be a really good discussion. I think the podcast is the right format for it. You're going to hear cool music. It's going to be really fun. That's going to be coming soon as well. And then last but not least, we're going to be doing probably another chat, not a pub talk, but another chat where we're kind of getting into the weeds about some of the Kickstarter elements, so we can really kind of address any questions that exist with the Kickstarter. So do expect there to be more videos and more conversation about the Kickstarter throughout the month. But again, if you want commissions from our top artists and get all the other cool stuff, you can find it on we only have a few of those, so you can find them on our Kickstarter. If you want to be a voice actor, if you're trying to get into voice acting for Funimation or some of these, Aniplex, some of these companies, and you want a credited voice role in an upcoming anime production, we got a brand new Mutton Chop episode coming. It's at the $750 level. You still get all this other cool stuff. It's totally worth it. If you want original prints, all this other stuff, check out our Kickstarter. We hope you guys will do it. Likewise, issue 95 of Saturday AM will be coming out, we hope, by early next week. It'll have Apple Black on the cover. It'll feature Apple Black, Mastery Multiplayer World of Ghosts, Bully Eater, and I think Titan King. And then about 3 weeks later will be issue 96 of Saturday AM, and that should be the return of Clock Striker. So we're very excited about that. So again, let us know if you have any questions. Thank you all for tuning in. Andrea, you have anything else you want to add? That was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's always hard to talk after you.
I know, but that was good stuff though from Iron Spike, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was very good. Like, I really want to read that article as well, so I'm really looking forward to read it in whole, because that was so true and so inspiring, and it hits close to home. So, so yeah, it was really good.
So, do you want to add anything before we hop off?
Please support the Kickstarter.
You know what? I appreciate you going there at that, because I was fully expecting you to be like, please watch Run with the Wind. So I'm happy that you gave us your love for this limited minute that you would have given to the Haikyuu ripoff. All right.
Better than Run with the Wind.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. All right. Well, folks, I want to thank you guys again. I can't tell you guys how much we appreciate the friendship of everyone who supports Saturday AM. If you're a subscriber to Saturday AM currently, thank you so much. You can, by the way, continue to do so, as we hope you will. I'll post the web address right here. Please subscribe to our magazine. We really, really like that. It helps us keep the lights on and pay for the little music. So be really, really appreciative. You can go to www.saturday-am.com and go to subscribe page. You can subscribe to us right there for either the basic subscription or premium subscription. Remember, neither one of those affects you for getting the reward tiers for Saturday AM. If you subscribe for just $5 on the Kickstarter, you're going to get a lot of digital product. If you subscribe at the $15 level, you're going to still get more digital product, including the zero issue and the primer. So you really can't go, not the primer, the zero issue. So you can't go wrong with it. $25 is the first time you actually get to get one of the books and all the digital pieces, so including the primer. So it's a really, really great deal all the way around. We hope that you guys will check out the Kickstarter. We hope you'll subscribe and support us regardless. And we will be back, and we'll have more great news. We have so much stuff coming, folks, at the end of the year. This road to 100 is going to be a blast. There's so many big things we're going to be talking about and doing. It's going to blow your mind. So we hope you guys will tune in, and thank you again for your support. On behalf of Andrea, this is Frederick Jones, Saturday AM publisher and founder. Thank you guys. Take care.